رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran has mentioned that the man is made from different things in different places in the Quran. So sometimes, for example, he will say in chapter 23 verse 12 that indeed we created humankind from an extract of clay, min sulalatin min teen. In chapter number 76 verse 2, he would say indeed we made man from nutfatin amshajin. We alone created human beings from a drop of mixed fluids, from the fluid of the man and the woman. And then finally in chapter 96 verse 2, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would say we created human beings from alaq, from a clinging clot, meaning the embryo that resembles a leech that clings to the inside the womb. Now the question is, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned different things that the humans were made of, and it's not a contradiction. These are the different stages. First the man was made from clay, sand, then he was made from the mixed fluids of the man and the woman, and then ultimately it became into a form of a clot that went to the womb. So these are different stages, but that's not the problem. The big question is, why does Allah mention these specific stages in the specific verses? Why not, for example, say in this verse in chapter 23 verse 12, why doesn't he say we made man from, let's say, a mixed fluid? And why doesn't he say here we made man from clay? Why does he specifically mention in these verses these specific stages? And that's the answer to this reveals the beauty and the miracle of the Quran. Subhanallah. If you look at chapter 23 verse 12, he says he made him from an extract of clay. What's clay used for? Building different structures, bricks and potteries and different things like this. Imagine somebody making a pot out of sand and clay. The way it gradually takes shape and turns into a pot, right? Just imagine that. That's why he mentioned clay. Why? Because in the verses that follow this verse, he mentions the gradual development of human being. Just let me read the translation. Indeed, we created man from an extract of clay, then placed each human as a sperm drop in a secure place. Then he says, then we developed the drop into a clinging clot, then developed the clot into a lump of flesh, then developed the lump into bones, then clothed the bones with flesh, then we brought it into a being as a new creation. So blessed is Allah, the best of creators. Subhanallah, the gradual formation of the human being, just like we form things from clay gradually. Subhanallah. So it was very appropriate to mention clay in this verse. However, in Surah Insan, when Allah mentions the stage of forming a human being from a mixed drop of the male and the female, he mentions the two opposites, the male and the female, coming together to form this human being, right? We created human beings from mixed drop. So here in the context, he's talking about two different opposite things or two different things in the context as well. So he says we created human beings from mixed drop in order to test them, so we made them hear and see. Now the two different senses of input, hearing and seeing. And then in the next verse he says we already showed them the way, whether they chose to be grateful or ungrateful. Again, two different opposite ends, grateful, being ungrateful, being able to see, being able to hear. And thus it was appropriate to say that we made man from mixed fluids, male and the female. Just like he was made from mixed fluids, he has mixed senses, he can see, he can hear, and he has tendencies to be grateful or to be ungrateful. Subhanallah. So it was much more appropriate to mention here he was made from mixed fluid. And finally, Surah Alaq chapter 96, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says we created human beings from alaq, clinging clot, which resembles what? A leech. You see, a leech. And what does a leech do? It sucks the blood to feed itself. So the context, in this context, Allah talks about human beings seeking knowledge and human beings being ignorant and the need for them to seek knowledge. So for example, if I read the translation from verse number 1, it says, read, meaning seeking knowledge, right? Read, O Prophet, in the name of your Lord who created human beings from a clinging clot. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught humanity what they knew not. Subhanallah. So you see, the context is about human beings being ignorant and them seeking knowledge. Why is it much more appropriate to mention a clinging clot here that seeks knowledge, which resembles a leech? Because what does a leech do? It seeks the blood to feed itself. And just like it's feeding itself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to feed our mind as well with knowledge. Subhanallah. And when it feeds itself, that clot turns into an entire human being. Just like that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you feed your mind with knowledge, you will become an amazing human being. Subhanallah. Read, your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught humanity which they knew not. They were nothing. Without knowledge, a human being is nothing, just like a small leech. And it's only when he seeks knowledge that he becomes well known among the people. Subhanallah. So it's the blessing of knowledge. So subhanallah, it was much more appropriate to mention a leech which feeds off to become an entire human being, right? It feeds from the womb. Likewise, human beings must seek knowledge, subhanallah, to gain the power of knowledge, subhanallah. So every word, every stage that was mentioned according to the context. Where there is an extract of clay, it's about the gradual human development. The context is about the gradual human development. Where it's about mixed fluids, the context is about the mixed senses we have and the mixed attitudes human beings have, being grateful or ungrateful. And then talks about clinging cloth, the context is about us being really small, ignorant, and Allah teaching us, and us being seeking of knowledge, just like a leech seeks blood. And subhanallah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the way, in this verse mentioned subhanallah, a sperm, that would show the human beings being really small and their ignorance, etc., but it would not convey the meaning of seeking knowledge. That both these meanings, being small and seeking knowledge, come from the word of the clinging cloth that resembles a leech. Subhanallah, every word, it's like cherry picked for its context. And this is what amazes me, that in the previous times the people used to see, for example, Prophet Jesus turned the dead to life, giving the dead people life, or Prophet Moses turning the staff into the stake. For me, these miracles are exactly like that. Today I can see these miracles without a prophet being amongst us. He left us this miracle, the Qur'an. I feel like I'm watching a miracle live with my own eyes. That's the beauty of these words. Every word cherry picked for its position. So may God give us complete conviction in the Qur'an as the word of God. Nothing random in the Qur'an. Really nothing random in the Qur'an. Every word cherry picked for its position. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us complete conviction in the Qur'an as the word of God. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.